Rifftrax. I don't have a big tracks, but riffs I'm missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? Rifftrax picks on the tracks we're ripping. It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 4 of my series, Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed, where I take 5 Rifftrax shorts at a time in chronological order, review them, and give them points between 1 and 5. And as I don't believe that I've ever seen such a thing as a bad Rifftrax short, the points are good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular. So no matter what, they'll at least get a good, since I don't think a bad one exists that I've at least ever seen. I wanted to also thank you all for just a great positive response on the last one. I'm really proud of that one. Everyone just seemed to really love that one. I had people saying it was the best one, and it easily has the best likes to views ratio of the whole thing, so thank you so much. I'm glad you all appreciated that one so much. I really loved how that one turned out and the response from you guys. So let's keep the fun rolling with episode 4 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed. Number 16, Buying Food, from July 11th, 2008.
Oh no, I've forgotten how to buy food! Help!
Never fear, Bill. Edna A. Hill is here.
I am here.
Many of the shorts we've seen thus far featured very simple lessons and basic concepts, but the makers of this little oddity must think we're all on life support. Every single thing it teaches is so easy to grasp, you could have never even stepped foot in a grocery store in your entire life, and you would still already know all of this.
What can she do to be sure her money goes as far as possible?
Steal the food.
Highly perishable foods are not suitable for quantity buying because they spoil too quickly.
No!
Other labels carry a letter grade, which indicates the characteristics of the contents. The meanings of the letters vary with the type of food. Usually, the grade A indicates a fancier product.
A big mushy pile of overcooked spinach. How fancy.
The right answer depends upon the requirements of the purchaser.
May we also remind you that water is wet and fire is hot.
The thing to remember is to read the label. Know what you are buying before you buy.
If it says corn on the label, it's probably corn.
Never shop from a grocery list to avoid impulse buying.
Don't shop during a week-long fast.
If it's the season when the fruit or vegetable is ripe, it will be most economical to buy it fresh.
Farmers are desperate and you can really chisel them down.
Check in your local market as to which form of food is the most economical for you.
The answer may be pretend food.
At this point, the cooking ability of the housewife becomes highly important.
Though poor cooks often never marry in the first place.
It doesn't take...
If that wasn't enough, the schmo who has no idea how to shop and spends all of his money on impulse purchases is named Henry Slinkman. I mean, come on, Slinkman is the name of the idiot straw man? That's like putting the word doom in your supervillain's name. Oh, wait.
Take a look at Henry Slinkman. He's frequently guilty of it. Henry's going to pick up something for dinner. His wife didn't tell him what to get. Anything that looks good, she said.
Yes, she gave that much latitude to Henry here.
What's this? Henry's never seen anything like this before. Looks good, so he'll take 2.
Henry will pay for and eat any unidentified lump that's set in front of him.
Henry takes not 1, not 2, but 3 pints of oysters. The way he feels right now, he could eat all of them by himself.
Henry's father was a sea lion.
Henry and his wife tired of the cake long before it was eaten.
Then they both developed mysterious rashes.
Henry finished dinner that evening. He was sure he wouldn't be able to eat another oyster for a long, long time.
Henry was arrested and charged with impulse buying.
After seeing this trip to the store, you'll feel like ordering takeout tonight. This one gets a 4 out of 5.
These are canned string beans. Which is grade A and which is grade C?
Or were you too busy impulse buying to study your string bean grades?
Here, the small...
Number 17, Right or Wrong, from July 15th, 2008.
Aren't you going to ask me any more questions?
Just one. Is it right to hide a lawbreaker from justice?
Because my college buddy Doug's passed out in the bathroom, clutching some hair and a bloody knife, and I'll be darned if I know what to do.
Every day we're all faced with moral decisions. We must decide whether we'll do the right thing or the wrong thing, and this short attempts to show that in action. Every character in the story has to make a choice that affects other people.
Will young Matt Damon make the right decision?
Maybe I didn't really see who it was.
They'll believe that. I am a crappy watchman.
Like other moral decisions, it will have an effect on other people. Make them also choose right
from wrong.
Or flip a coin.
This is Dave, his life, the product of countless wrong decisions.
What is right and wrong?
We know the answer, we're just not telling.
Try to see how various people decide what is right.
And what is wrong but
Try to
fun.
judge them. Discover and apply your moral standards.
Or extreme lack thereof.
Decisions yet.
The plot is that this kid Harry is getting in trouble with the law for possibly breaking a window. Even though he didn't do it, a cop tries to get him to give the names of the hoodlums he was with who did vandalize the warehouse.
Serious charge against you.
What charge?
Loitering with intent to kill.
Vandalism. Might help just to bring him to trial.
The trial of the century.
Hear that, Harry? That's your innocence crunching beneath our boots.
Well, Harry, come on in. Close the door.
You see, doors are for closing, Harry, not for vandalizing.
Get tough with him. Scare him. You can make him talk.
But can you make him sing?
Tell us who was with you. Just exactly what happened.
Confess to a few unsolved murders. Come
Get
on.
off much. Okay. I won't ask you again.
From here on out, I beg and whimper.
Did you agree with Harry's decisions? Would you have done the same? Yes, I also would have not vandalized anything.
Does the kid make the right choice? Who knows? Much like with Kathy not eating breakfast, we get no concrete answers in the end. But I think the right decision I can make is to give this a 3 out of 5.
I think you really didn't break any windows.
Only hearts, Harry. Only
We'll have a hard time proving that.
Number 18, The Trouble with Women, from July 18th, 2008.
No, Betty, that's wrong. Let me show you again.
No, wrong. Stupid woman, what is your trouble?
See?
Now, I am definitely not one to throw the term sexist around. If I'm excluded from something, I don't automatically think, oh, it's because I'm a female, down with the patriarchy, or any of that crap. But this film truly is sexist. The only reason a manager at this factory doesn't like the new employee is because she's a woman.
What's wrong with her? She's a woman, isn't she?
Yeah.
Well, there's someone here to see you.
Dear God, a woman!
Yes. I assigned her to an inspection bench.
She got bra marks all over it.
Well, in a ma-
You mean there's liable to be another change?
There's always that possibility.
Now go give birth to Mike TV.
Certainly hope.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I ask for a man.
A big one, preferably Mediterranean.
This guy is obviously not a business guy either, since apparently if they hire women, the company makes even more product and money. So even if you don't like women, wouldn't you at least tolerate them for more profits? No, this guy's seething hatred is blind to the benefits of having ladies around.
There were all men in my department, and we didn't have these problems.
You didn't have the production output you've got now either.
See, we can work these women like mules,
You've
Brad.
got a new bearing. If you treat her right, she might make you a darn good employee.
What do you mean, treat her right?
I mean, like even
Get that
more
chip
resentment?
off
Oh, Mr. Bradshaw.
Don't touch me!
I wanted to tell you that the date is set for my marriage. I'll be leaving soon.
Marriage? I thought you just got engaged.
Now you want to get
Oh, I
married,
told you
too?
about it.
With man, no trouble at all. Tell him what you want and he does it. But with Myrtle,
That cow wanted a
little move is
reason.
a
Are they really just a part of life?
part of a woman's life, maybe.
We men don't have
I
lives.
remember the
We like
good
it that
old
way.
days when there were all...
Though it's a little short at about 6.5 minutes, the dialogue of the main character here is so ridiculously anti-woman it's just hilarious. Add some great riffs on top of that, and we have a 3.5 out of 5.
Well, he started life as Ellen Bradley. His hormone replacement ain't working, and he's getting bitter. Good night.
Number 19, It Must Be the Neighbors, from July 22nd, 2008.
But on one thing, Betty and I were agreed.
Goldwater.
If anyone in the neighborhood was helping to breed these pests,
They must die.
it must be the neighbors.
That's right, cast that first stone.
If there's two things we humans like to do, it's complain and not take any responsibility for our actions. This is crucial to the plot here. It's all about white suburbanites who wish that their neighborhood was cleaner and prettier, but won't take any action to fix it themselves.
Just a reminder that improperly stored garbage provides food for rats, flies, and other disease-carrying insects.
And of course, Gary Busey.
Well, joy. No visitor to our home could escape without first taking the grand tour.
Those who tried to were gunned down instantly.
Frankie told his dad about the rat, but depend on Pete Granger to weasel out of it.
Nope, can't smoke an owl pellet.
Must be the neighbors.
Son, get me my pitchfork and torch.
teacher went on to tell us a lot more about the biology and habits of rats, flies, mosquitoes, and other threats to public health when suddenly I noticed
I was really bored.
Any hungry rats around, now watch out.
I saw one yesterday. Frankie Granger. Honest, Duncan. You're making that up.
He never spoke again.
But the job of keeping your property free from health hazards is mainly yours, Bill.
Aw, do I have to?
This thing is also just really goofy. The music and acting are all over the top, and in the same vein as all the Gamera movies, it's the children who have all the answers, and they start cleaning up after their parents. Because what kid wouldn't rather pick up trash than go play baseball?
Bill, why, Mr. Foster's here. Why don't you show him the yard?
Allow me to respond goofily.
Betty's pride and
Day 6. My car stereo is still stuck on the jaunty cartoon music channel. How I long for death.
If Pete and I didn't exactly see eye to eye, our boys joined hands that morning in a common cause.
Ridiculous pants. We hope they never invent video games.
Okay, Larry, start the scene on my subtle cue there.
Now to let the families with real problems come and claim this stuff.
From yard to yard, the boys went, gathering new recruits on the way.
We now know that our sons were nerds.
But when each boy confronted his parent, the answer was about the same.
Clean your room.
It must be...
Bill Duncan, where have you been? I've been waiting all morning for you, and I'm so terribly upset. Do you know what's going on outside? That garbage can's a mess, the red label...
I left my cyanide pills at the office.
It wasn't long before our neighbors, taking their cue from the youngsters,
learned to read.
Got the message.
Though it's important not to discount the role of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Seriously though, if your neighborhood standard for cleanliness is just not rat and mosquito infested, it shouldn't be that hard to keep it up. This slovenly short gets a 3 out of 5.
I could see the little rascals doing this, but because they wanted to build a fort, not out of communicable disease hysteria.
Number 20. Each Child is Different, from July 25th, 2008.
Let's follow Robert into his home. For what a child does away from school may be revealing indeed.
Does he do his homework and then listen to baseball on the radio? Or does he smear peanut butter on his chest and snort frozen peas?
If you have any Prozac in the house, you might want to go ahead and take some now. This is easily one of the most depressing things we'll see during this entire series. The lesson here is actually aimed at elementary school teachers. As the title suggests, it instructs them to look at each child as an individual, since they all have different family lives. Now, some of these kids have pretty decent home lives and good friends, but may struggle a little bit academically speaking.
Robert may never be captain of the football team, but he will usually be among the first 3 or 4 whom the captain chooses. He is popular with his fellows.
Yep, giving away your dessert every day, I'll do that for you.
Socially adjusted, physically capable, mechanically inclined, but a poor reader.
He's doomed to work at a gas station or perhaps become president.
What about this?
Glue in place.
Kid does a great Rob Schneider.
Yes, this is Mark, a natural leader. Well-grown, intelligent, and aggressive.
Until he was hit by a car on his 13th birthday.
How would his teacher find out these things?
By casually observing his behavior for about a half hour?
Dad knows his son has trouble reading.
His co-workers remind him every day.
Line of motor path.
Ooh, and the instructions just get filthy after that.
As usual, Mark leads the way.
To the shed in his own backyard. Our hero.
However, there are a couple of kids with some of the saddest backstories you've ever seen.
Ruth's mother died a year and a half ago.
Her dying wish was for her daughter to always dress like Sarah, plain and tall.
Woo! Bachelor life.
Give George some more beans.
In her head, he just said, "Your mama loved you and would be so proud of you."
That no one says anything at a family dinner table in itself says a lot to John, lost and alone among the strangers he calls his family. Who is to blame?
Well, John's dad shot the family cat in front of him on Christmas and made him bury the body, but I'm not pointing any fingers.
Elizabeth, an attractive child. What is she thinking about?
How it's kind of creepy that you just called her attractive?
Oh, I can't stand the sight of you.
Get out! That's the first intelligent idea you've had.
Willie Tanner.
Going into that, I wish I'd remembered the car was in the shop before I stormed out of there.
And here is John, small for his age.
He's the school principal.
George would grow up, change his name to Eugene O'Neill, and write plays far less depressing than this.
He fails at school, he fails at home, he even fails to make friends. It's a whole pattern of failure.
Which somehow seems much funnier when it happens to Charlie Brown. It's not the tea party she objects to, but rather the deriving enjoyment from life.
I love you.
The worst part, she was borrowing that doll from Ruth.
Ruth's classmates voted her most likely to inspire the book Carrie.
You want it? Please. You want it? Please.
Why, he didn't intend to give it back at all. Why even ask then, sir?
Oh, and the cap? You guessed it. On loan from Ruth.
Wish I had a job to wear this jumpsuit to.
I'm gonna nip out and kill myself, guys.
Are you tired, brother? I'm tired.
Well, happy birthday, Ruthie.
What does this do to a child?
Increases the likelihood of a special yearbook page.
I can't even imagine how you'd feel as a teacher seeing this before your first day on the job. This makes it seem like you're wading into a pool of tears and agony. But thankfully, Mike, Kevin, and Bill are here to help us keep smiles on our faces and get this short a 4 out of 5.
Can the educational program be adjusted to fit the needs and characteristics of each child?
Even Ruth.
She proceeds to learn of these.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I also wanted to just mention real quick that I'm finally getting to work on both this Mystery Science project I want to get started and my Why I Hate Inside Out review. Starting to get those all together, so hopefully they'll kind of start coming into fruition by the end of this month. Hopefully by September I'll start getting them out. But until then, thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys later.
It's time for Rifftrax.